Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Ryan in Singapore. Welcome to our mindfulness practice. We're on a journey. We're doing open awareness, and we have been doing open awareness for the past since I've been back from holiday. So beginning of August, so about 2 weeks. We've done a little sample of the full open awareness, and now we're breaking open awareness down piece by piece. And we started with bodily sensations, and on Saturday we did a body scan, tuning into different areas of the body to kind of bring that additional awareness to each part of the body before opening awareness to the entire body. So observing anything that's coming up inside of the body, what we're feeling in any moment, and seeing what shows up in the forefront of awareness. So it could be difficult sensations, it could be pleasant sensations, it could be unpleasant, it could be neutral sensations. So it could be pleasant, could be unpleasant, could be neutral, the sensations that we're experiencing. And as we notice, is this pleasant? Is this unpleasant? Is it neutral? Is it possible for us to be aware of that without any kind of judging thoughts going along with it? Is it possible to just simply acknowledge this is an unpleasant sensation, for example? This is a pleasant sensation. So this concept of, can I be aware of pleasant things without being attached to them? Can I be aware of unpleasant things without trying to push them away? This concept's called equanimity. And as we do open awareness, we can begin to practice equanimity. Can we simply notice things exactly as they are? And I think open awareness is a really good practice for also practicing equanimity. And today we begin to, as we zero in on different aspects of open awareness practice, today we don't spend so much time on the body, we spend more time on sounds. So sounds are something else that is, our ears are constantly sending information to us. So we never end up, having moments when our ears aren't sending things to us. That even when we're asleep, our ears are still sending information to our brains. When you hear some loud noise when you're sleeping, it wakes you up. It's because that information is still going into the brain at all the time. So you'll find that this soundscape is always present with you. And similarly, we'll find that some sounds are pleasant, some sounds are unpleasant, and some sounds are neutral, neither pleasant nor unpleasant. So, and some of these are similar to physical sensations, are biologically wired. The sound of an alarm going off is one that is meant to be jarring, meant to make us feel a little bit uncomfortable, so that we take action when we need to take action. That these frequencies are not by accident. Alarms have a certain frequency with, and I mean, like, especially like air raid alarms. I don't know if you've ever heard in your area air raid alarms being tested, right? But they're at a frequency that is designed to make us be aware. Hey, I hear this sound, and interpret what it is. And I think that's another thing that's interesting about sounds, is that you'll find that your brain instantly interprets what it is that you're hearing. And I have it's like a 11-month-old baby now, so he's starting to really grow. But what's really interesting is to see when these sounds that are familiar to me enter his ears for the first time, and the quizzical look on his face sometimes. Well, what is this sound? What is this that I'm hearing? And sometimes, a natural feeling of fear that shows up in his face. So these sounds, there are a lot of sounds that aren't neutral, that kind of intrinsically have some kind of positive or negative kind of association with them. And it may, and it may be intrinsic to the sound, the frequency, the nature of the sound, that even a baby feels uncomfortable when he feels or hears that sound coming in. And of course, as we hear sounds that are positive or negative, that are pleasant or unpleasant, we may find emotions that go along with them. And as we notice those emotions, those emotions may show up as physical sensations. So I would encourage you, as you notice sounds as we go through our practice today, is there some emotional association that goes along with any of these sounds, or are most of them neutral? And notice as well the present moment nature of sounds. So just like physical sensations, that I think of a drop of perspiration. As a drop of perspiration rolls down your brow, it's activating different nerves, right? That we have different nerves that tell us where the location of that drop of perspiration is. So, there's a present moment kind of experience that's going as we observe physical sensations. The same thing is going on when we're listening to sounds, or when we're observing our soundscape, when we're paying attention to our sense of hearing. That sounds may come, they may be present for a while, but they are present moment experiences. That they come, they're here for some moments, and then they're gone, and then new sounds come in. And it can be anything. It can be any sound in the soundscape. And I do remember I spent, when I was as a meditation teacher in Hong Kong, I got some free time in the float chamber, right? They've got the sensory deprivation chambers. And so one of the companies offered me a free trial, and that was one thing I really remember quite well, was the sound of complete silence. And in silence, at least for me, I realized that there is no silence, that there's always a constant ringing in my ears. So I do have a mild tinnitus. So it's always there, but interesting to hear that even when all sounds are gone. I think this is interesting too this translates into sensations, it translates into thoughts, it translates into everything. When no sounds are there, then the subtlest of the subtle sounds shows up. I hear that ringing in the ears. I hear my heart beating. I hear the sound of air moving in and out of my larynx, right? All of these kind of subtle things that I didn't notice before start to show up. And you'll see as you do open awareness practice, as the body becomes still, as the mind becomes still, as the environment becomes quiet, we're more and more able to hear the subtle things that are showing up. I think this is kind of my a final piece before we get into the meditation, is that as we move on the Thursday into thoughts, so the 2 days from now, we'll do one more meditation, and that will be on thoughts. You'll find that thoughts also have this kind of present moment experience, that they show up, and as long as you don't do anything with them, as long as you don't interact, as long as you don't follow the thought train, that thoughts are just like any other present moment kind of experience. That they show up, they're here for a time, and then they're gone. So just like physical sensations, just like sounds, thoughts are similar to any other kind of present moment experience. All right. Thanks for sharing, everybody. We're going to go ahead and get into our meditation here. So get yourself comfortable. I'll try to keep the sounds coming out of my end intentional, let's say. So find a posture that's going to be supportive for you today. See if you can arrive in your posture in stillness. Maybe roll the shoulders a few times if you like, if that's helpful for you. And move your head around a little bit. Take a few intentional deep breaths to help to settle the body. Shift your position on your cushion or your chair until you're comfortable. And then here we are, still, but awake, alert, aware of what's happening in the present. Maybe calibrating our awareness by feeling the cushion touching the body, or the chair, noticing that pressure against the buttocks. Where do you feel the chair? Where do you feel the cushion on the body? And then noticing that you're breathing. Being aware how the body changes shape with each breath. Movement of the abdomen away from the spine as you breathe in. Back towards the spine as you breathe out. Expansion and contraction of the chest. Movement of air around the nostrils. So taking a moment to allow this awareness of the body to ground you in the present moment. And as you feel ready, gradually letting go of awareness of the body. Focusing attention on the ears. Maybe first noticing that you have ears. That these objects are on the sides of your head. Starting to be aware of the sounds that are falling on the ears. And as you become aware of these sounds, is it possible to be aware of them without allowing that inner commentary to come in and have some kind of opinion? Like your inner monologue may be like, oh, I hear the fan in the other room. Is it possible to allow that sound to fall on the ears without that monologue to come in and have comments. There may be various sources of white noise around you. There's no need to identify them individually. Is it possible to simply allow them to be a soundscape that you are bathing in this moment? And again, it doesn't matter if these sounds are pleasant or unpleasant or neutral. Can you simply be here with these sounds? Even allowing the sound of my voice to just be another sound in the background of your soundscape. If you find your mind wandering to thoughts, just being aware momentarily of those thoughts and seeing if through awareness those thoughts can dissipate as you refocus your attention back to sounds in the present. what's present now. Is it possible to continue to have curiosity towards the sounds around you, even if it's a sound that has been persistent since the beginning of the meditation? Curiously exploring, moment by moment, what is changing, what is the same, what appears to be the same. And now, alongside of awareness of sounds, is it possible for you to begin to bring awareness of the body into the picture as well? What do you hear? What do you feel? So not looking for anything special or extraordinary. Just examining the ordinary sensations in the body, the ordinary sounds around us. And now, as we begin to draw our practice to its close, focusing your awareness one more time on the sounds around you, focusing strongly, listening for the 3 rings of the bell, and seeing if you can notice that moment in which the sound of the bell subsides completely from your awareness. And then feel free to begin opening your eyes and moving your body around in any way you like. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining in today's practice. How'd it go? What showed up for you? What did you discover as you're doing your practice today? This is different, I suppose, than many of the practices that we've been doing. I think we've spent a lot of time doing focused attention on breath. I'm happy to have done a little shift to open awareness, specifically what happened today? What did you find as we had some, today's meditation was a period of awareness of body, starting with sensation of the body against the cushion, moving to awareness of breath, moving to the awareness of sounds, all sounds around. Then I spent a little bit of time with singing bowl, using it to perhaps allow the attention to concentrate for a little while. Then we moved back to open awareness or awareness of sounds, and then we brought the body in as we closed practice. So what was that? What was that like? Or did any of those periods of practice today stand out for you? Thanks, Meg. Thanks for being here. Thanks, Caesar. Thanks, Jenny. That was, my meditation assistant was assisting with sound. I don't know why, but it seems like every time I want to do a meditation on sound where I'm really hoping that it's going to be completely quiet, I can guarantee my my meditation assistant to break that silence. I think that's what he's here for. He's the teacher's teacher, trying to test my mindfulness practice. Mary shares the bowl was helpful. Thanks, Mary, for sharing that. It can be, I think. It can be, especially... Well, I mean, I know there are a lot of people who are tuned in right now, and so everyone's soundscape, in your bedroom or living room, or, if you happen to be out in nature, everybody's soundscape's going to be a little bit different. So this was just to give a moment to really bring us all together, or a few moments to make sure that we are all having one particular common sound experience. And I can do that with sounds. I can't do that with physical sensations. So I do kind of look forward to being able to do that part of the meditation here with you all. Chris, I had eyes closed, thought bowl was a car alarm outside, and actually opened my eyes. Thanks, Chris, for sharing. It's interesting too, right? And I didn't say that I was going to use the bowl as well. So I think that's really an interesting, an interesting moment of exploration. Is as that sound began, what happened? What happened for you? Was there that association? Oh, it's a car alarm. And what's the feeling inside your body as that happened? So do reflect back on that moment for you when that sound first started coming in, and what happened? Was it, maybe you already identified it as the singing bowl, and somehow that association made it feel peaceful for you, or it's something else, or the association, the sound itself was unpleasant for you, and you noticed the physical sensations in your body of that being unpleasant. What happened? Thanks, Chris, for sharing. Meg shares, I had a bit of a flashback moment. I was reminded of falling asleep on a Caribbean beach. It's like all the sounds in the room sort of whoosh together like ocean waves. Oh, thanks, Meg, for sharing. Sybil shares, I opened my window so I was in a sound bath of birds and traffic noises. I could also hear sounds from where I am. And I've got a lot of traffic noises out behind me. Meg says that probably doesn't make much sense. I think it makes a lot of sense. It's interesting how sometimes meditation can be peaceful and remind us of peaceful things and transport us, maybe reconnect us with peaceful memories. It can also be exactly the opposite. Meditation can be, I think that's why it's interesting when people say they use meditation. I'm so stressed, I need to go meditate. Is that really the answer? Is meditation going to make you feel less stressed? I think that's certain for me. That's certainly not. I mean, say maybe the majority of the time meditation makes me feel calmer, but sometimes it exacerbates my feeling of being stressed. That's again, I'd say meditation isn't a cure for your stress. It's a prevention. It's a method to prevent future stress. Like it's a way for us to change our relationship with that feeling of being stressed when it shows up. Again, it's like you brush your teeth to prevent gingivitis, right? It's like I don't start brushing my teeth when my gums start bleeding, right? I brush my teeth before my gums are bleeding so that it keeps my gums from bleeding in the first place. That's kind of the same idea with meditation. Thanks Meg, so much for sharing. Barbara, air traffic included helicopter, seaplane, commercial airline, neighbor's drone. I automatically categorize the name of the sound, and that's so interesting. I think we all do that. That's not. That's extremely common, and I the encouragement is it possible to observe raw sounds and to watch the process, right? Can you have enough raw awareness to be able to see that process happen as sound comes in and the label comes onto the sound, right? So I think with practice and in maybe deeper states of meditation, it's a bit easier to see the inner workings of the mind. Thanks, Barbara, for sharing. Chris shares, living next to a train track, it's very loud when a train went by. And it's nice to observe it with curiosity. Can you break down all the little sounds, all the little pieces of what makes it train, right? How is it that the what little steps of the different pieces of the sounds that go train, right? And so we can observe that. Dirk shares, I was confronted with the sound of silence. My place over here. Thanks, Dirk, for sharing. Jean shares, I have so much sound around me all the time. Airplanes, automobiles, fans, air conditioning. It all becomes blurred. I notice when it's quiet. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for your activity in chat. As always, a pleasure to share this time with you. Be back on Thursday. So today's, it's Tuesday at 5:45 a.m. right now here in Singapore. So I'll be back in 47 hours and 30 minutes to share mindfulness of thoughts and the awareness of thoughts. So looking forward to sharing that with you as we continue our exploration in open awareness. So before we go, let's end our practice the way that we do, by wishing well to ourselves and wishing well to all of humanity. So follow along if you like. May I be happy and peaceful. May everyone watching, listening, wherever you are, I wish you all happiness and peace. May all sentient life around the universe, big or small, near or far, like me or not so much like me, may they all be happy and peaceful. All right, take care, everyone. See you next time. Bye-bye.